Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, please let me start my speech by expressing my deepest sympathy on behalf of the staff and the members of the European Helicopter Association with the victims of the helicopter accident which happened last night during a rescue training mission in Savoie in France. Our colleagues who lost their lives shall remind us on the great value helicopter services provide to the society and on our endeavors to make these services as safe as possible by using the best available equipment, providing the best training to our crews and apply the most suitable safety regulations. Keeping these fundamental prospects in mind, I would like to welcome you to the EHA Rotorcraft and VTOL symposium virtual event in 2020. Almost exactly 1 year ago, on December 10th, 2019, I had the pleasure to announce that the Rotorcraft and VTOL symposium of that year would have been the last one in the well-known format, and that the EASA and EHA had partnered to change it into something bigger, exceeding any other European VTOL initiative. Well, in December 2019, SARS-CoV-2 pandemic had not hit Europe yet. Therefore, I did not have in mind that changing format would have meant creating a Rotorcraft and VTOL virtual edition instead of a face-to-face meeting. With great enthusiasm, last January, we hosted a big press conference to launch the first edition of the European Rotors, the VTOL Show and Safety Conference. All partners were on board, EASA, the EHA members, represented by the National Helicopter Associations and Heli-Offshore, the EHA OEM members, Airbus, Bell, Leonardo and Safran, Messe Friedrichshafen as our service provider, and Köln-Messe Ausstellungen as owner of the event location Köln-Messe. A steering committee composed of EHA members, including the OEMs and the EASA, was set up to support the European Rotors team headed by the show director, Dr. Frank Liemand, and to make sure that European Rotors would become by the industry for the industry. At the end of January, we promoted the show at the Heli Expo in Anaheim, and the feedback we received was overwhelming. Floor space bookings were coming in and the conference and training program started to evolve. The other Rotorcraft and VTOL Symposium 2020 should have been an important conference integrated in the European Rotors program. By mid-March, the COVID outbreak though reached Europe and we all were subject to the first lockdown. However, optimistically, we continued with the preparation of European Rotors. Floor space bookings were still coming in and we adapted the organization of the event to apply the required health protocol applicable to the exhibition hall and the conference rooms, together with the city of Cologne. To cut the story short, between the late summer and the beginning of autumn, numbers of corona infections were rising again on a daily basis, and European governments issued new travel restrictions. Consequently, by the beginning of October, although more than 110 exhibitors had booked their stands to the trade show, we had to take the hard decision to postpone European Rotors to November 16th till 18th, 2021. Nevertheless, we did not lose heart and we immediately started working to set up the European Rotors Digital Series in order to maintain the community informed about the topics that would have been touched during the now postponed face-to-face meeting. This closes the loop as the Rotorcraft and VTOL Symposium virtual event organized by EASA is part of the digital events, which shall provide information and interaction with the community as it was intended for the European Rotors event. More than 1,700 participants have registered for this webinar, which can already be counted as a great success. Not long ago, we also published the first episode of the European Rotors Digital series on the European market overview with the 4 OEM members and the EASA, which is now available on the show's webpage for streaming. So stay tuned on the EHA and European Rotors homepage and social media not to miss any of the events which will follow in the months to come. I cordially invite you to be part of the digital series and contact us if you want to present latest developments or achievements in your company or organization. Since the end of November, EASA uploaded 9 high-level technical presentations covering numerous aspects on future VTOL developments, including topics related to human factors and the artificial intelligence roadmap, but also one presentation on U-Space to provide an overview of future UAS traffic management. I am sure especially the helicopter operators using the same airspace as unmanned vehicles had a close look at this presentation. We welcome the development of new sustainable and safe technologies in the VTOL sector, which will enlarge the scope of the services to the public and open new business opportunities to the VTOL industry. With regard to the U-Space, we expect from the regulator that the UAS traffic management will neither lead to a reduction in access to the airspace for helicopter operators and other traditional airspace users, nor to an increase of operational costs for those services. EASA offered to participants the opportunity to post questions on the platform. I do hope many of you took this chance, and I look forward to the Q&A panel later this afternoon. Before that, we will receive an update on the deliverables 2020 of the Rotorcraft Safety Roadmap by David Solar, the head of the VTOL department. This is of utmost importance to us as members of the European Helicopter Association and other stakeholders were involved in defining the Rotorcraft Safety Roadmap, showing that the industry is continuously supporting the development of the different work streams to increase the operational safety and ensure the sustainable development of our sector. EHA supported the EASA survey on undue administrative burden for small helicopter operators, which occurred in the past months. I look forward to see the results soon, which will enable EASA to take the correct measures to reduce the administrative and financial burden, especially on small operators. By providing voluntary experts, we support the rulemaking task 0194, modernization and simplification of the European pilot licensing and training system, to improve the supply of the competent flight instructors and, in particular, the extension of the principles of threat and error management to all licenses and ratings. Within the scope of training devices workstream, EHA was able to provide experts for the rulemaking trust 0196 concerning the update of flight simulation devices by addressing virtual reality simulation. Independent from the Rotorcraft Safety Roadmap, the rulemaking task 0318 concerning operation of single-engine helicopters is still on our radar. Although, unfortunately, it has been deprioritized again in the EPAS 2020-2025. EASA acknowledges and understands the concerns expressed by EHA concerning the deprioritization of the rulemaking task 0318 in the response document to the draft of EPAS 2020-2025. The agency expresses the willingness to continue working on this task, albeit with reduced speed and prioritization caused by the limited available resources the agency faces under the current pandemic circumstances. The need to change the FCI 065, commonly well known as H60 rule, is still on our agenda too. The positive news is that the rule change proposal will now be included in Rulemaking Task 0287 updating Part Med, but unfortunately, the impact of such change will not be effective before the end of 2023. I guess that I have taken enough of the valuable broadcasting time of this webinar. Let us move forward now on the agenda. On behalf of the entire EHA team, I wish you Merry Christmas, and I do hope that you will be able to enjoy happy holidays with your friends and families. Let us close 2020 under the chapter Experiences Made and Lessons Learned, and look forward into a better 2021. We, of course, do hope to meet you all at our first face-to-face event, European Rotors, the VTOL Show and Safety Conference, from November 16th to 18th, 2021 in Cologne in Germany. In this spirit, we also wish you a Happy New Year. Fly safely and stay healthy. Thank you.